Hi, it's Dame from Dame's Place. It's Saturday. It's very sunny, very hot in Oregon. We're in the Willamette Valley. And I wanted to show you how much the bees love these. I need to put some water in it. But they love these dishes, the clay ones, the most. Okay, I'm going to do a little sound therapy. I'm going to do some gong and I'm going to do a little gonging. God, I can't get it out. This is so dry, I feel bad. I gotta cool that off a little bit. The sun goes right through it. It's a different sun, man. It's not the same. So just make sure you get the warm water, okay? Fill all these up. I gardened. I worked in a prison. I worked in a hospital. I worked in a Italian bar restaurant with a lot of mob guys. And my boss was Trigger. He was like my godfather. That's just work experience. And I talk about my family and my father and the things he did. And my husband said, my garden, this is our garden. That's our cherry tree. It's figs, squash, blueberries, like several kinds of squash. Here's a cucumber. That's a lemon cucumber. They are so delicious. And I put a post up earlier today. I'm going to have to post this too. I apologize to people, but we just have to post for the data thing. I'm going to do some, I don't know if I'll do the cards. Maybe I could pull one, but I pulled one yesterday. Sometimes I pull medicine cards. Listen to Kitty, where is she? Right here. She just clawed the thing. But I wanted to see, the dog was barking, right? And by the time I get set up and go get the camera to see if this might affect the dog's crying, because she cries when her mommy is gone. So let's try one of these. Today's a good day to put your intentions out and the end of one phase into another. This 8/8/2026, 8/8/8. Think of abundance in your health and wellness. And I'm going to put a post up on Attica Prison Survivor Stories today with a comment that I made to somebody who was talking about a dystopian society and what's going on with our world. So I'll post that. You can find that there on Instagram. But I talk a lot about what I saw and what I saw in people, as well as, how the system works. So any kind of little therapies you can do in your area, whether it's growing a garden from your scraps or making your own apple cider vinegar so that you stay healthy, because the stuff in the store isn't the same. That's not going to have the same benefits at all anymore. It's like not live. It's not a live culture. And people have a lot of trouble with food where they are, and they're rural, and all they have is Dollar Gen and stuff. It's imperative you learn how to grow something, and it's not too late. Don't think August is too late. Even if it's where you live, then you figure it out. There's lots of videos on digging out an area if you have it. There she goes. Look. She likes to go in her bag. Keeps her cool. It is hot, hot, hot. Oh, hi, sis. Hi. So anyway, you could I'm rushing through this. I can talk a minute. I planned on putting like a good 40-minute talk up. I need that thing though to hold it, so we'll take a little walk. See. I said I would post about Oregon diecast. And some basil. Look at these tomatoes, are so leggy. I had it all covered up because they were doing the roof. The roof, okay. So, let's go here. Look at all the grapes. Yummy. Peppers. Peppers. I'm going to sit in the shade though, because the sun is banging hot. Which way is this got to go? This way. Okay. I'll see. Kitty, you want to sit here? No. Okay, she said, no. Let's see if this will stay. Okay, so so there was no Love After Lockup this week. I couldn't find it. If somebody knows where that would be. I looked at what I normally see, and it was like, sorry about this. I'm trying to make this so it doesn't fall over. There she is. Sorry for you to make a headache from this. It's like loose. That's the problem. I need to like tighten it. There we go. Oh my god. It's like an immersion together. So much sick. It makes me sick. I feel like you're doing something. It's like, oh. Okay, yeah, she was not Let's see if I can get this. I don't know what you want to see here. What's good? The bee dish is usually pretty cool to watch. So, if I hear the birds start, then I don't know. Where's it slowly gonna turn? Here you go, come on. Come on up here. No? I don't know why this one, I guess I'll just leave it. Or else just keep trying. No, ma'am, you may not. No, ma'am. Here, come up here. Come on. Get up here. So, it's too hot. She's so warm, I can't tell you. Okay, let's see if this works. Oh my gosh. It just seemed to like spin like forever. I don't know what is going on. It's like crooked and like, I don't know. This is insanity. I really have to erase this. Okay. Like, I'm acting like that was such good footage, I wouldn't want to waste it. Anyway, okay, let's try one of these. This is a 174. Oh, and, listen, let's see if that'll start going. I can't tell you offhand what everything is, but this is 174, right? It's a low hertz. Right? Kitty sniffed it. I'm not moving that. You can't move metal like that. Okay, ready? We'll try another one. This is... See it? I'll tell you, it's 396. 396. I didn't notice any difference with the birds, but let's try this one. I won't do them all, but I don't notice any difference with the birds, but we'll see. I hope they're good vibing. Kitty likes it. It's pretty cool. Could you see it waving? I don't know if that shows up, like just where it's sitting, or if it's like that for you. So I said yesterday I would comment on Love After Lockup, and I didn't because it seems like I have like an extra pocket in this. How could that be? This is crazy. Maybe this goes like this and this might like this. Okay. So, no, I didn't see it, so I can't talk about, but listen, I did see True Feelings by me, Crystal, on YouTube, and listen, she's, I haven't heard her say anything wrong, not a thing. Do not, just let somebody get out and see what they do with their life, and then be with you. Writing is stories. I worked in the office that did the mail watch. They listen to all your phone calls. That's administration. That's the state. So don't get jammed up with these bad ideas. This girl getting 15 years and they're telling her she's going to be out in 3. That's not how that works. It won't be, you know what I'm saying? These are not. I'd say that the private prison industry runs a lot of entertainment as well as the usual suspects. So it's just filled with bad ideas. Let somebody get out and then see who they are, see what they show you. And don't get on these shows. They're terrible. They're exploiting your kids. They're exploiting your kids, and you're exploiting your kids to bring them into prison. You're not doing them a favor if that's their father. Certainly not if it's some man that's not related to him. I don't care if it's his uncle or his granddaddy. I don't care. It doesn't matter. It's not a place for children because it indoctrinates them into the acceptance of that can, you know, it's an insufferable situation the way things are in that way. That's why people don't rehabilitate. But if you make it look like, you know, you get to do, you know how many kids, Native kids that only did ceremony when they came in to see their fathers because their fathers took up the practices when they were locked up. So the only ceremony they really learn is being in there, and it's beautiful ceremony anywhere you put it, but it's still there, and that's not the way to learn. But I didn't get taken to powwow because you had to hide that with my grandmother. She had to hide it. She's the little sharecropper's daughter with nothing to share. You know, they got nothing. They're picking cotton and got on a bus to go from Alabama to CCC Camp Pahokee in Florida and pick citrus. And that was a vast improvement. I mean, I'm not even going to get into that, but I started to think about it today, and I was just like the change of times, the Depression had happened, the American Dust Bowl, so farmers were out. Like, you're just going to see thing after thing after thing when they're, you know, they break it down to build it back up the way they want. So don't be ground up in the wheel of it. That's, you know, my best lesson. There's plenty of good people that can work within a system and do the best that they can. And there's also plenty of bad people that will take every bit of power and try to juice it and do every bad thing and stand together against you. So the righteous path is one that, you know, led me to be able to live to see the day to get out of there. And I went all the way far as I could, from the East Coast to the West Coast, and those people still reach out. You know, I was just thinking about it. Like, they reached out to our local law enforcement to tell them what bad people they were, because our funeral director got charged and sentenced to prison for losing bodies at his funeral home, and he pled out of admitting guilt to that, but he did, and then he just pled to like financial crimes of having people paid for like funeral places like that. My uncle didn't have that. He was supposed to be buried at a veterans cemetery in Bath, New York, and this guy didn't do that. He just lost the remains and said that they found him, you know, years later or whatever. But I didn't think he'd do it because he was a friend of mine, and it was all like a big scam. It was all just this big scam. I'm not going to get into it because it's like a bummer. And you got to think in abundance today, you know. But it's also like it happens everywhere, and in this time of change, they're just trying to like meat grind people, man. You got to really just be polishing your skills on whatever you do, and hands-on is always best, because if they shut off, I mean, the digitizing of all the libraries and museums, you know, that's what I do, and many people do this type of thing, and they're telling you, like, we're losing a lot in the digitization of these things, like even the Library of Congress, which is like such a great resource, but because it's like one of our only, but one of the professors at OSU, that's Oregon State, she sent me a list of resources that was like really great. So I'm going to be looking into that this week and they're places you can find original records and stuff like that, because I want to write about my great aunts and my grandmother and grandfather that all wrote for the Catholic press as well as the other press. They wrote books and hymns and the Holy Family series for St. Anthony's, or for St. Joseph's, the Holy Family series in the book Joseph, as well as my grandma wrote a hymn. My uncle Horatio Spafford wrote It Is Well With My Soul. His father was my grandfather, Horatio Spafford, who was an inventor and a polymath. He wrote the first and he wrote the 1813, 1824 versions of the New York State Gazetteer, as well as many, many other intellectual. He was known as an intellectual. That show, The Gilded Age, on HBO, is about his street, where he lived, right down from Herman Melville, like Herman Melville, that writer. Is it The Grapes of Wrath, or is that Steinbeck? Steinbeck might have even had a place there. And then, the story of what they did to him was like, they took everything. The Gilded Age, that meant it wasn't really gold anymore. That's what that really means. People think it means this beautiful, like, golden time, but to the people that had money prior to that, which, if you watch Downton Abbey and the old lady, oh my God, I can't remember her name. She missed the old days, like the chair that moved. She's like, every godforsaken thing comes from America. It's always an American idea. And it was a chair on rollers. She felt like she was falling. Like, think of that when you sit down. You were always used to a chair with no rollers, and then you're rolling around. There's things in life now that are going to repeat like that. So the more skills you have with your hands and your, things you can actually produce, the better. Because it's some bullshit out here on what they're asking people to do at work, and everybody's a gig worker, and unions no protection. They didn't protect me. You know what they did? They offered me the presidency of Attica Correctional to run the CSEA. That's what they were going to give me when I asked for help outside to Erie County. All they can do is say, we'll make you the boss and see if you can do better. But see, your back's against the wall to the point where if I didn't think I could make it, I might have taken that deal and said, okay, I'll be the boss. And then, you got to make deals for those deals. And that union was weak. During the strike this year, the COs are out with NYSCOBA, and the girls are going in. The girls that are the secretaries, the girls that are the nurses, the girls that are, they work in the guidance unit too, all the secretary pool. They're all going in with the National Guard, and no one ever said thank you to them officially, nothing. Matter of fact, the guards were outside with bonfires making s'mores and drinking beers, saying how scared they were at Attica Prison. You can look it up, and there's no reason to not be scared like that. It's a scary place, no doubt, no doubt. August gets me heated. I'm like, why do I feel heated? Because every year I had to work on the committee and plan the commemoration for the riot in Attica Prison in 1971. That was like September 11th through the 14th. And right now, wherever I was on vacation for a couple of weeks with all the kids and my nieces and nephews, we'd rent lake houses, all of us couples, and share the price so it was cost effective. And we'd bring our boats. We didn't have a boat. They'd bring their boats, and I would teach the kids to ski and whatever. So, it would kind of ruin it. But that didn't go on, much longer then. When I was already split up then. But it would still be vacations, you just couldn't really relax too much, because I knew, because the prison was so heated, that, A, it's hot. It's a castle. Attica looks like a castle. And B, the inmates, as well as the guards, are all heated. And, it's like everyone forgets who really what happened. The New York State troopers' bullets were who killed about everybody. There might have been 2 deaths that were attributed to other reasons, but it was only a couple. And you'd say, you don't remember the details. I used to have to know all that, and it took me all these years to not remember whose name is what, to never cross a trespass, anything like that, to be disrespectful. And I was the person that the families would put me. I dealt with the families when an officer died, and we got their flag for the funeral, and the honor guard would be scheduled if they liked at their husband's or father's funeral. This is all through time. They do that in corrections at Attica. I don't know if they do that at every prison anymore, but I imagine they do. But they have honor guard outside for all those days, all 3 shifts. They stand guard on nights because nobody was going home. I think 84 people in total were killed there, and the bullet holes are in the wall. And then they walk you through, and they're like, yeah, this happened. And then, the warden tells me about, if one civilian woman dies, that gets 6 guards jobs. That's how much money the union puts behind it, because that's 6 posts. He's like, that's 6 posts. That's 6 families that can eat. A guard can feed a whole family and his wife on a guard salary. And they had to transfer a lot back then. You didn't go to the jail of your choice. After you went through the academy, you went to where they went. And you started by New York City down at Sing Sing, and then you worked your way back west. And, Attica's all the way furthest west for a max, and it's the biggest max in the state. So, I don't know where I was going with that. Oh, yeah, okay. So if a nurse got killed back in the hospital because there's no, there might be one guard back there, and not even. I mean, the guard's in a glass bubble, a bulletproof glass bubble, and because they run the gates. So I don't even know if there's a guard in the whole entire ward, and they probably could have 10 inmates up there at one time. And then at another time in the morning, there's 100 inmates, because the sick call's in there. If it ever goes down, all those girls are going to get it. And he would tell me that. He would say, any girls over there are going to get it. There's no way they'll live through it if they lose it. And they'll lose it, he said, in the guidance unit or the hospital, because they're not really staffed with a lot of officers. Now, why do you think that would be? Because how many jobs are they going to get if they're leaving you in the wind, and you've got, I don't know, maybe they had like 5 girls on a day, I'd say, on nursing staff, at least. It seems like that. And a doctor, just anyway, it was really dangerous over there. And, definitely the implication was, all those people are going to eat for you. Like, come on, like that math ain't mathing. Obviously there's plenty of reasons why they'd want you to bite it. And then I got mandated into the commissary, ladies screaming, you're going to be AWOL if you don't go in, and just like, crazy. But it actually, I knew that there was stuff going on in there that, like, I didn't feel pertained to me. So I do the night of overtime there, your first 2.5 are regular rate anyway. So they're hiring for that because we're low, and I'm like, do you think it's safe? Like, and he says, yeah, there's overtime in the commissary, do it. So I'm like, okay, you think it'll be all right? Now you got like five at least inmates in there, and there's 2 or 3 girls. There's like the manager girl, lady, and then there was me, another girl, and another girl. Like, and we're checking out groceries. We're packing up commissary orders, and like the guys do, though, the inmates that work in there, they pack up the order for you. The inmate comes to the window. There's like 40 guys on the gallery with one little girl guard that was working that at that time she had that bid. And she like weighed 120 pounds, and these are 60 guys sitting in the gallery. And I mean, a guy will pull your bag off you if he wants to, and you got nothing to do about it. The guards aren't going to do anything about that. So, and if it went, that's a lot of females in one spot with one gallery to take over and pop that door, because there was no sergeant there on a reg. There was a sergeant that did rounds and stuff and came at night, because like that's when you do the money, like stamps and the receipts for the day, and they had tobacco. Like a commissary is a store. It's like a little grocery store in the jail, if you didn't know it. I thought it was like a gift shop. I remember somebody told me, you should get a job at the prison. They pay good at the commissary. I thought that was an army commissary, like, eating place. Like, I don't know. A gift shop, like, at the hospital. I don't know. And then come to find out that's what it was. And I ended up working in there as a while. Not in my wildest dreams. My ancestors had to be like, girl, like, what has happened to you? How hard did your father dump you on your head? But he was already passed away when I worked there. He would have never said to work there, but that was part of all of it. So, and I was locked into it. I couldn't just leave. They had in my divorce decree that I carried the insurance till she was 18, and that my ex didn't pay any more than $50 ever by decree. He couldn't raise it. So I got to carry the insurance, and I'm getting $50 a week. This kid $8.50 in 2 days. But it doesn't matter like that. It's just that I couldn't leave, and I couldn't leave her there because I was doing the civil commitments with the crimes that men committed against children. And I'm threatened that because I'm doing the workman's comp and all their time and stuff like that, and when they're going to get fired because they're being investigated, I'm on that investigation. I do gang investigations. I do all that. So I would be told, be careful. The biker gang pick up tests. They can see her, going to school or something. You got to be careful because if they got denied a workman's comp day or something, they're going to blame you. I don't know. It was just like always something. So that's the world we live in. I wouldn't work in a prison if I were you, though it may seem lucrative. It's not really worth it because if it doesn't go your way, even though you're trying your hardest, your best, you could just get jammed up for being in the wrong place, wrong time, because crimes of opportunity are the worst criminals ever because they just do it at any time. Well, that's what you create in a prison system because they only got one chance. They're not going to see you again. This guy's been doing time 10 years. They grew up together and they didn't know the other one was in Attica prison. Like, I listened to the story on YouTube, and that totally can happen. We had fathers and sons doing time together. Like, not uncommon. So, yeah. So, I guess I'm going to leave with, again, save your seeds. Get some stuff going. Microgreens, whatever you want to do. Bag of potatoes. Look on the channel and listen to the stories. And there'll be better ones than this. I didn't see it. I can't tell you. I didn't see it. Love After Lockup. I don't know. I looked for it. We tried to get it, but all I saw were old ones being reposted. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to talk about old ones, and it's all bad ideas, and I don't like watching it. It's a bummer. I'm not going to do that every Saturday. I'm not even going to do that but I wanted to, follow up and just let you know why, because I don't want to live in that. But this is how you can live. I'm going to tell you how you can live and how, scary times we're talking to God through it. If you think you don't know how to pray or no one taught you that because you're a kid and you hear this for some reason, which this is for adults, this isn't really for kids, but I try to keep it good so that if you do hear it, I apologize for any transgressions, but it's easier to get it understood sometimes with more coarse language because they won't afford you the privilege of kind grammar while they're assaulting you or taking your life. I can assure you of that. So it's not to be like scare tactics, but it's just you just have to be frank with it because they want you to say different words for everything, and that's how things get confused, and that's how kids can't tell what really happened because they're confused. So give them language that they need to go forward to its empowerment. So with that, have a beautiful day. James Place. Peace.